welcome to the BullCast podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, and with me today is Court Winsett.
Hello, Katie.
And Cameron Spann.
Hello, Court and Katie.
Okay, so last time we talked about Elon Musk and SpaceX and the trillionaire man. We're going to talk today about a man that I feel like a lot of people know his name. They know a lot about him. They know him. They've heard reference to him. They have a general idea of who he is. But I think this is kind of a jargon in itself that a lot of people know the name, but do they really understand who is Warren Buffett?
Another rich man.
A very wealthy man.
I wonder if people ever get him confused with Jimmy Buffett.
I bet you there's some,
Yeah.
at an absolute minimum, there's somebody out there that has asked the question, is he like Jimmy Buffett's brother?
Yeah. Be like, or somebody goes in and be like, I want to invest like Jimmy Buffett. Well, sir, I don't know how Jimmy Buffett invests.
He
but
invests in a lot of tequila.
Yes, he does.
yeah, the Margaritaville, like, I mean, he was a businessman, like lots of great things.
Fun fact too, Jimmy Buffett, who we're not even talking about, but you know Jurassic World, the first of the new trilogy.
Yeah.
He made a cameo in it when the dinosaurs were like chasing them down, and he was the only shot of him is sprinting down the street with a margarita in his hand.
Try not to spill the margarita. It was a great shot for sure. You love those little cameos where people are just thrown in there and especially like sequels where was it people at that point when it's a sequel, it's people asking to be in the movies.
Yes, that's
it's
right.
not them calling and saying, hey, will you have a spotlight? And I definitely noticed that in The Devil Wears Prada too, where it's just like so many people in that. I'm like, yeah, y'all all were like, can we be in it? Can we have a moment?
Star Wars is notorious. Celebrities will be like, can I be a stormtrooper? You don't
Yes.
even have to see my face.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so a few people have changed the way Americans think about investing more than Warren Buffett. Over the course of 7 decades, Buffett transformed Berkshire Hathaway from a struggling textile company into one of the most valuable companies in the world. Did y'all even know that Berkshire Hathaway was a textile company?
Nope.
Along the way, he became known not just for building wealth, but for sharing timeless wisdom about business, investing, and life. I know we recently quoted him a couple episodes ago. Today, we're taking a look at the life, the legacy, and the lessons of Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha.
God, what an epic name.
So let's do our list. And of course, the list is going to be about fun facts about Warren Buffett.
Sure.
Makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
Let's just round robin this and we'll add our color commentation.
Yes,
Yeah.
commentary. We will add. Start, Court, start.
Okay, 10-year-old Buffett was having lunch with a member of the New York Stock Exchange and setting life goals.
At 10?
At 10.
My son is 10, and he would not do that.
Hey,
Yeah.
would you like to share part of my peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Like, what's happening here?
Buffett doesn't keep a computer on his desk, and he chooses to use a flip phone rather than a smartphone, which
Okay,
sounds
David
like
Pickler.
someone we know. Yeah.
Yes, David Pickler has a flip phone and a smartphone. For the longest time, it was just the flip phone. He often refers to it as his dumb phone. If we were to ever to like text a picture, he's like, you texted it to my dumb phone. I need you to send it to my smartphone. In fact, he only sent one email in his life to Jeff Rakes of Microsoft.
I wonder what the email was about. The one email you send in life is pretty important, or is it?
One email? Think about this. One email.
It's probably like, see you at the conference.
That's just, it's wild.
He drinks an alarming amount of Coca-Cola each day. He once said that, quote, if I eat 2,700 calories a day, a quarter of that is Coca-Cola. I drink at least 5 12-ounce servings. I do it every day. That's extraordinary. I drink way more than he does in terms of probably my total soda intake per day, but I also drink diet soda. I'm not taking in all those calories.
Right. His house is a humble 5-bedroom in Omaha, Nebraska, that he bought in 1956 for $31,500. The house across the street will cost you about $2.15 million.
Wow. Goes to show you don't have to have all the bells and whistles. You got a good, solid foundation. You got a great house. Keep it. He plays bridge about 12 hours a week.
It's a very old person.
That doesn't
say-
sound like a very fun fact.
I've never played bridge. Have y'all played bridge?
I have not ever played bridge, actually, and I've always kind of been intrigued by the rules of bridge because I've seen it depicted fictionally in like movies or whatever, but I don't know what the heck those people are doing. It's a team card game.
Yeah.
You play with the person, I think, across from you, but I don't know anything more than that. I know that it is, I believe that like hearts or spades or something like that is maybe like a building block of bridge. Or, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I have no idea.
Our homework will be to play spades. I mean, not spades. Bridge. We're going to play bridge.
We're going to play not the game that Warren Buffett plays. All right, the last one.
$1,000 invested in Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway stock in 1964 when Buffett took over the company and shares cost just $19, would be worth about $11.6 million today.
Good grief.
Dang. Let's talk about Warren Buffett, the little boy.
Little boy, his beginnings.
Katie's history lesson.
Paint the picture. Early life. Born August 30th, 1930, in good old Omaha, Nebraska, where he still lives. Son of Howard Buffett, a stockbroker, a U.S. congressman. Okay, that makes a lot more sense that he was at 10 eating with people from the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense. Because to him, it's like I saw something recently where, I think it was Kylie Kelsey talking about not everybody's your aunt. Anyways, it's a celebrity. The kid's aunt is a singer, and they think Katy Perry's their aunt. Like, they think all the singers are their aunts. So to him, it was probably, oh, yeah, these are just guys that hang out with my dad. He developed an interest in business and invested at a young age. Sold chewing gum, Coca-Cola, he's a big fan, and magazines door to door. Worked a paper route as a teenager.
Okay.
All of this in his youth?
Well, I mean, shoot, we've only gotten up to age 11 because at age 11, Buffett purchased 3 shares of Citi's Service Preferred stock for $38 per share. The stock quickly fell, then recovered. Buffett sold for a small profit only to watch the stock climb much higher afterward. Buffett later said the experience taught him the importance of patience and long-term investing.
Oh, smart kid.
Mm-hmm.
And you learned from this. Like, that's the thing, is that's an example. He had that experience and he learned from it and knew he did not want to repeat it.
Now let's learn about when he was an entrepreneur. And he's not even an adult this
He's
stage.
at the ripe old age of
14.
Woo.
At age 14, he used money earned from his paper route to purchase 40 acres of Nebraska farmland.
40 acres.
40 acres from his paper route? Like, are you kidding me?
He then rented the land out for income.
At 14?
Talk about passive income, boy.
Goodness gracious. I mean, again, what were you doing at 14?
Not being Warren Buffett,
Yes.
I'll
Not
tell you
being
that.
Warren Buffett. Back in them old days, that's what you did. I don't think a lot of people were buying 40 acres of farmland and then renting it out for income. That is brilliant. Tell us his education.
Oh, okay. His education, he was accepted to the University of Pennsylvania at age 16.
Oh, gosh.
Later transferred to the University of Nebraska. So apparently Ivy League was not for him. But wait, he applied to Harvard Business School and was rejected.
Wow.
So then he decided to attend Columbia University instead. So, yeah, he still got that Columbia Masters, you know. So he got the Ivy League Masters. But I wonder what made him transfer to University of Nebraska from
Because
from
obviously he has
University
a
of Pennsylvania.
huge desire to stay in Nebraska. Born there,
Yeah.
still lives everything.
I guess moved to the University of Pennsylvania and decided he was homesick.
He was homesick.
probably.
So, and then, I mean, Harvard, come on, you rejected him? I love when you look at kind of a lot of the historical people in pop culture, people like that were passed up for big jobs or were fired or were passed over and then they're successful. So it's teaching you perseverance, determination. Benjamin Graham.
Yes.
So he studied under Benjamin Graham, widely considered the father of value investing. Graham's teaching would become the foundation of Buffett's investing philosophy. Wonder if Buffett told Graham about his experience at 11 years old.
Probably.
You're like, look, Ben, this is what happened to me when I was 11. And so then at 14, I bought some farmland and turned it into income. Benjamin Graham impressed with Warren? I would be. That's incredible.
I bet he was. Let's talk about building a business empire.
Let's do it.
Okay, Buffett Associates. Warren returned to Omaha in 1956, of course he did, and launched Buffett Associates. He began managing investments for family and friends.
Interesting. Began managing investments for family and friends. Then in 1959, he met a guy by the name of Charlie Munger.
Okay.
They formed a partnership that would become one of the most successful in business history. Munger encouraged Buffett to move beyond simply buying cheap companies and focus on buying great businesses.
So Charlie was a good spin on things. So Berkshire Hathaway. In 1962, Buffett began buying shares of Berkshire Hathaway, a struggling textile company. Again, if you didn't know, textile, that's wild because I bet you Jay Leno on the street, what's Berkshire Hathaway? Oh, that's Warren Buffett. Well, what is it? Shares traded around $8 when he first invested. And then remember we said it was $19 when he took over. He eventually took control of the company and became CEO.
Buffett used Berkshire's cash flow to acquire other businesses. One of the most important acquisitions was National Indemnity, an insurance company whose premiums provided capital for future investments.
Okay, so he leveraged funds, and that's what we were talking about with Elon Musk, is how we said Buffett used Berkshire's cash flow to acquire other businesses. So then again, when you would look at a net worth, he's already taken that money and then put it into something else. I can guarantee that's something that Elon Musk is also doing, of taking one thing, moving it to the other, which then goes back to our lesson of run on the bank and It's a Wonderful Life. If everybody's calling and wanting their funds, then it's like, well, actually your funds are used to do this and this and this and this. You know, the rabbit hole continues.
National Indemnity is the most epic insurance company name. It's probably really hard to pronounce for a majority of America. Indemnity.
Indemnity. Yes. See, and I even struggled with it. There you go. I proved your point. Key investments.
These are the key investments that Buffett made, presumably?
I'm guessing. Yeah, because that's what we talked about, some of these. Seeds, Candies.
Okay.
I've heard of them.
Geico.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard of that one. American Express.
Yeah.
Always in your back pocket.
Mhm.
Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Court's favorite. Bank of America. Apple.
Yep. Woo. So today,
I mean, really, of all of those, Candies is the one. And what does Seeds Candies?
I've definitely heard of it before. I'll
Look it up, Cam.
Yeah.
See what candies we're
Look it
missing
up.
out on. Because you think about it, like Mars and stuff like that, a lot of those, so it's chocolate.
Yeah. It's those classic, like, little chocolate
Oh, the
variety
chocolate boxes,
Yeah.
like Forrest Gump.
Yeah, peanut brittle. They
Life is
kinda
like
do
a
it all.
box of chocolates.
Yeah. That looks good.
Mama always said. Let's talk about Berkshire Hathaway today. Berkshire Hathaway actually owns more than 60 companies outright. So he just basically bought Berkshire and then used it as an umbrella company to buy all of these other
All of it.
companies. The company, Berkshire Hathaway, has a market value exceeding $1 trillion.
There's the trillion
And
again.
everybody, if you listen to our last episode, you know how much money exactly a $1 trillion is. And then finally, Berkshire Hathaway Class A shares trade more than $700,000 per share, because Warren Buffett does not believe in stock splits. As I understand it, Berkshire Hathaway has never split their stock. It has always just been what's out there.
Makes
I'm
it
going to put you on your toes, but there are ways that people can invest in Berkshire Hathaway.
Well, there are also B shares.
Yes.
You can buy a B share a little bit easier than you can an A
A
share.
little bit lower price point there than having to shell out $700,000 for just one share.
Yeah.
Would someone please quickly tell me the difference between a Class A share and a Class B share?
Well, it depends.
What does it mean?
Well, no, but as a company, you can issue different kinds of stock that have different voting rights, different
Preferred stock,
rules,
common
preferred
stock.
common stock, stuff like that. In this case, I don't know what the distinction is that the company made, but when it issued the stock shares, it is able to say, here, these shares do this, this, and this. These shares only do this, this, and this. Whatever Berkshire Hathaway decided was going to be the defining elements of A shares versus B shares, they determined that, and people that own the A shares, I'm guessing, based on how much they're worth, that the A shares are probably founders' shares, for want of a better way to put it.
Yeah.
You know, like original owners of the stock, maybe before even.
So Class A shares are famous for being among the most expensive single stock in the world, often costing hundreds. We already went through that. Class A shares possess significantly more voting power than a Class B. Class B share carries exactly 1/10,000th of the voting right of a single A share. A shares can be converted into 1,500 Class B shares at any time. However, this is a one-way street. Class B shares cannot be converted back into Class A shares. Class A shares are best suited for high net worth individuals, institutional investors, or those who require maximum voting power. This massive price tag limits liquidity, flexibility. So Class B are going to be much more the practical, logical choice for the vast majority of individual investors, provides identical long-term equity growth to the Class A shares, but offers much more flexibility for buying, selling, or estate planning.
Are there Class C shares or is it just A and B?
It's probably just A and B.
Okay.
I've never heard of C shares.
Gotcha. Okay.
Not for Berkshire anyway. We're getting really
It
into the
gets real
nitty gritty,
witty.
but we also, in our business, we frequently talk about A shares, B shares, C shares. In other things that we do, a lot of times it applies to mutual fund. And so you probably more often, if you hear us talking about C shares, we're talking about a mutual fund and the type of shares that somebody owns in a mutual fund. We talk about share types, A share or B share, in terms of stock, in terms of company equity, a little bit less frequently than we do when we're talking about mutual funds. But it's just a type.
And I think just putting a bow on that, it's the devil in the details. And so it's just very important when you are comparing research, you're comparing options, because we've had that conversation where someone's been like, why are you going to put me in this? It's got, these fees or this and this and this. And I'm like, well, are you looking at the institutional shares or are you looking at C shares?
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I know our listeners are screaming at their listening device, why is he called the Oracle of Omaha? Well, we have answers. Buffett became known for his ability to identify undervalued businesses and investments. Investors began closely following his annual shareholder letters and investment decisions. Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting became known as the Woodstock of capitalists.
Wow.
Drawing tens of thousands of investors from around the world. So it just became an event. That's wild.
Giving back. So it's obviously when you talk about somebody who has this great of wealth built up, you can already paint the picture like he was a dedicated hard worker at a young age, obviously has a deep connection to Nebraska, has been in his house for a very long time. Then Buffett's been a long believer in that enormous wealth comes with enormous responsibility. And so in June 2006, Buffett announced he would donate the vast majority of his fortune to philanthropy. Most of the donations have gone to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, along with several family foundations. He has pledged to give away more than 99% of his wealth. So you're going, wow, like his family is getting screwed over. This 1% is still going to be a significant amount, but I mean, that's incredibly generous that he's doing that and that he's dividing it out between several different foundations. What you looking up over there?
I love random facts. Did you know Memphis is one of the most charitable cities in the United States?
It is, with Le Bonheur, with St. Jude. It's bad to be a nonprofit that's not one of those two in this world.
I don't know how much Warren Buffett was worth. If we go back to the example that I was giving when we were talking about trillions of dollars, 1 trillion is 1,000 billion. So let's say Buffett is worth a few billion. 37 billion or whatever it is. That's still
an enormous amount of money.
It's tons of millions of dollars. Even 1% of however many billions is still going to be several millions of dollars.
His net worth is approximately $146.7 billion. Making him one of the top 10 richest people in the world. He's 95 years old.
If you've got 100 billion, what is 1% of 100 billion? A billion.
A billion.
That's still a significant estate that he's leaving behind.
He personally owns 38.4% of the Class A voting shares. Remember, those are the 700,000, which equates to roughly a 15% overall economic interest. So, yeah, I mean, that's incredible. Let's talk about
investment tips from Warren Buffett.
This is from Warren Buffett. This is not from Katie or Court or Cam.
This is also just general advice.
Exactly.
It doesn't, it's not,
no specifics.
We're not giving you advice specific to your situation. And if you really want advice specific to your situation, you should reach out to an advisor and ask them.
And we got some advisors here that you can talk to.
I love that word salad of disclosures, or just coming in from both sides.
And see if Berkshire Hathaway makes sense to be in your portfolio or not, but we don't know. This is just the facts, man. This is just Warren Buffett, and incredible 95-year-old man.
Warren Buffett tip number 1, wait, then pounce. Buffett advises taking a deep breath and a step back when you find a company in which you want to invest. He suggests that giving the stock time to achieve a reasonable valuation, then moving when the market corrects. So I will not give any specific stock advice or examples in this, but I will say that just recently we have been advising people to wait before buying something because we wanted to allow it to stabilize.
Yeah.
We've said on so many episodes, you've got to remove emotions. And, the lesson that he learned at 11 really has resonated with him. And it's wait, then pounce. But our society as a whole is just like, go, make a decision. And you think about it, I don't know about you guys, when you're in a rush or you're mad, you make a lot of mistakes.
Yep.
That's where you're rushing. And then all of a sudden now you've just caused this drama. You've spilled something. You've knocked something over. You've broken something. Versus if you just take a half a second, breathe. You probably can get it done just as quick, even more efficiently than you trying to rush through something, because that's when mistakes happen. And that's just a fact with that.
That's a great segue into the next investment tip, which is stay the course. So you've breathed, as Katie said, you've waited, and now it's time to move. Buffett suggests that you want to resist panicking at this point and selling your holdings when they falter. And at some point they will. Don't sell, buy. Just keep buying, he said in a CNBC interview. American business is going to do fine over time, so you will know the investment universe is going to do very well.
Echoing again with that, stay the course. We talked about before the marketing piece that we put out, compliance approved, on how to survive a bear attack, which was really looking at about a bear market. And you stick to your plan, you stick to the course, you keep moving forward. We had Brad McMillan on here who echoed again, there's always going to be conflict in the Middle East. There's always going to be so many different reasons when you look over the history of time to not invest or to get your money out. And every single year, if you had gotten out, then there would have been a repercussion from that. Versus if you just hold on tight and it's going to keep building and growing for you if you're in the right investments. I will put that caveat. So the next one, pick businesses, not stocks. Absolutely. Always, always, always weigh and analyze the business behind a stock. Try to focus on businesses you understand and of which you have some knowledge. This will help you assess where a company is going, not just where it's been and where it is currently. Because again, you're trying to look at, I am buying into some ownership of this business in hopes that it's going to continue to flourish. And I think people don't think about it that way. They're like, oh, I want to buy this stock because Finance Dude 69 on TikTok told me to buy it.
You really hate people on TikTok that give financial advice.
It just irritates the crap out of me because they're not licensed. It irritates me because we, as you've heard, disclaimers left and right on this episode. So I'm a financial advisor. We have gone through everything you're supposed to be doing to make sure you're licensed, to be able to give advice. You have to follow compliance rules. You have to follow all these guidelines. So it is frustrating when there are people out there just willy-nilly giving all this advice and they have nobody checking behind them. They have nobody making sure they're saying the right things because they're not an advisor. They're not, which people should then see like, oh, I shouldn't take advice because are you going to take stock tip advice from your hairdresser? Like, are you going to take whatever? Okay, I got to get off that soapbox.
Did you say the screen name was Finance Bro 69?
She did. And I mean, we don't know. Finance Bro 69. 69 might be the numbers
year.
of the series
It was a good
tests
year.
that he's passed.
Yeah,
He
I don't
passed
know.
the 6 and the 9. Who knows? You don't know.
Okay, so back to picking a business, not a stock. Think about it. If you're willing to own a stock for 10 years, if you aren't willing to own a stock for 10 years, don't even think about owning it for 10 minutes. That needs to be your thought process. Will I be fine owning this for 10 years?
And fittingly, I will round out the list with a little bit of cheese because everybody knows I love some cheese. His final piece of advice is invest in yourself. The best investment you can make is in yourself. I do believe this. I am a fan of the theory that you should always be trying to improve yourself. I certainly have not ended up where I am today because I decided to rest on my laurels. And I think that same could be said for all of us. So investing in yourself is a great investment.
When you read that, I could almost see the shooting star. The more you know.
The more you
The
know.
more you know. So it's, look,
The man, the myth, the legend.
the man, the myth, the legend. People are wondering, is he alive or is he not? And, is that why we're doing this episode? Well, no, he's very much alive. The reason why I wanted to do this episode was because I do feel like Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway are a jargon in itself. And because so many people just go, oh, yeah, Warren Buffett, or oh, yeah, Berkshire Hathaway. But very few people understand, why should we listen to what Warren Buffett says? Is it just because he's rich? Like, what has happened? What is Berkshire Hathaway? It's a textile company. Did you know that? Did you know Warren Buffett's background on where he started as a young kid at 11 making an investment mistake that stuck with him for the rest of the time, at 14 owning farmland and renting it out, and then going to college at a young age to then turn into this business? He is an example of wealth in a way that society usually doesn't see it. He is very modest with his lifestyle, with what he does. He is still the chairman of the company for Berkshire Hathaway, still incredibly involved, still spitting wisdom out left and right, and is often quoted so much, but his lessons are very simple. It is not strategy and, use these analysts and do this and do that. It's just, hey, pick a business, not a stock. Invest in yourself. Stay the course. Wait. Then pounce. He is such a huge contribution to society as a whole, to the investment world. He is somebody to definitely learn from. Have a little Warren Buffett on your shoulder that's kind of helping you make decisions.
Have a little Jimmy Buffett in your pocket and a little Warren Buffett on your shoulder, and you're going to have yourself a good day.
I love it. I have a little piece of interesting trivia here before that bell comes in. Because while we were recording this, I was asking myself, does he have children? If so, are they like crazy rich? So he has 3 kids. His philosophy on raising his children involved providing enough support to help them pursue their passions, but not so much that they could, end quote, do nothing. None of his children are billionaires, as he intends to give the vast majority of his fortune to philanthropy. He has entrusted his 3 children to oversee his charitable trust and distribute his remaining wealth after his passing. Good job, Warren.
I mean, that's some great parenting, because we've talked about it before on the podcast, that generational wealth, and it's gone. It doesn't even make it to the 3rd generation. They're spending it. So the fact that he is supporting them, they're having a good lifestyle, but not to do nothing, because you hear the phrase like trust fund babies, or just, I mean, we even saw the great show we all love, Succession. It's, you know, giving the money, and it's like, are they actually becoming good people and learning work ethic? Because he clearly had that work ethic, and which is probably why he stays grounded in Nebraska instead of moving to Silicon Valley or New York or something like that, where he's maybe surrounded by that pressure to continue to have that lavish lifestyle.
Give me $1 billion, even just $1 billion, and start your stopwatch. See how long it takes me to move to New York City. I'll be up there before the sun goes down today. All I need is $1 billion. I'm right there. Boom. I'm not moving to Nebraska.
Well, you have no ties to Nebraska.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there's the closing bell. You've made it to the end of yet another episode of the BullCast podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up to have our podcast delivered directly to your device every single Thursday at noon. If you'd like to find out more about Cortland, Katie, Cameron, or Nicole, please feel free to go to our website. That website is bullcastpodcast.com. We've got pictures up there. We've got our bios, and we've got a place where you can drop a comment or suggest a topic you'd like to hear us talk more about. But hey, I mentioned pictures. We do have an Instagram handle where you can see all the pictures, and that handle is at Bullcast Podcast. We also have an X handle, which is also at Bullcast Podcast. And rounding out the social media, we have a Facebook page, which is BullCast the podcast. Don't forget the, so you can check us out there as well. But as I like to do on every episode, let me remind all of you that Katie, Cameron, Nicole, and I all work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. And if you'd like to find out even more about us, or find out about what we do, find out about what we could do for you, find out about our amazing team, and find out about our boss, David Pickler, please feel free to go to that website. That website is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
Not an E.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have all the information you need to go forth and become the next Warren Buffett. So for now, I'm Court.
I'm Katie.
I'm Cam.
And we're done.